So, for those watching the video version of the podcast, it's Closer to Indigo by Maria Koropecki. I'm holding the book up here. It's a beautiful purple to violet. The main character, Maria, who is you, but not you,
Right.
started out as you, and took on a life of her own, which I think is awesome. Like when I got the book, I was obviously excited to read it because we're friends. I believe I read the first. Where does it stop here? No, I went past Road Trip. Where's that one? Yeah, I read up to page 78
Okay.
when I first got it, and it was just one of those page turners for me personally.
Okay.
It was such a breath of fresh air compared to reading, whether it's fiction or nonfiction. The readability of it was just very pleasant, and it just had you wondering, okay, where is this going? Where is this going? Where is it? So you just kept turning the page. So I guess my first question about the book itself is, for those of you who have not received your copy, the chapters begin. None of the chapters are numbered, but they all have a title, and the title seems to be a phonetic play on words.
Yes.
Where did that idea come from?
Oh, yeah. That was one of those ideas that came during the process of writing. I hadn't set out to do that at all. I started numbering the chapters. It got really complicated when I got to 11, 12, 13, and I was moving things around and I had to keep on changing the numbers. And so I was getting tired of that. Meanwhile, I was reading a book that was called The Miniaturist. And I was like halfway through the book and I noticed that the chapter names were named and they were cryptic and they were like really clever, and I knew that they had something to do with the chapter, but I didn't really know what. And I was like, oh, well, I wonder how I could do that. And I was like, well, maybe I could do something like that. And I love words. I love wordplay. That's like one of my life's favorite things. And so I thought, well, let me take a look. So I looked at the first chapter and we read it. And I was like, what words can I pick out that could be broken down into separate words by themselves? Like which words would fit? And I came up with whitecaps. And whitecaps refer to the tips on the ocean, the waves. And they could also be a reference to the bishops who are also mentioned in the first chapter by chance. So it was like, oh, so this title works on a few levels. And I was like, oh, well, that's really cool. So then I thought, well, can I do this in the next chapter? And I was like, let me see. And then I was like, oh, here's a word. Oh, I can break. Oh, that works. And then I was like, okay, well, how do I write that as a chapter? And so I thought, well, dictionaries, when they spell out a word, they don't spell out the whole word, they break it down into syllables. So then I also incorporated that format onto the chapter titles, and it just worked. And I still look at words like today, the word abundance, you can break it down like a.bun.dance.
Yeah.
So that's how it works. Yeah, like, and it was just well into the writing process that I came up with that, and now it's like one of my favorite parts of the book.